All right, let's do a little video on GDX. This was an algo alert. So gold miners have been hot. Let's take a look at this on the daily chart. Going back from basically, we'll say 2024 in March. Let's take a look at it. You're at $26. Made to move up. It's very hard to see here because this is way long ago. Then you're making this back and forth move. That's why I drew these lines here. Then you had a bigger pullback January 2025. Look at the low here, 33. Then we took off to 43. Had to move down, little wedge. You take off again to about 46, and then look at this, all the way up to 53. That's in April, May. And then you're having these dips, and you're climbing back up. Now went sideways for a while. Then it finally had a breakout of 55 on this. And you can see all the low buys here. These are all circle where you have a crossover, a bullish crossover. Now this was the algo alert, and you are very high here. See this overbought zone when you're 80 to 100. Extreme overbought to 90 to 100. I call it 80 to 90. I call it overbought. And this is usually the short zone. Now this is usually you want to short up here, but there's a problem. Gold miners are hot. This isn't going down, so it's staying this way. Sometimes I call it jet lining. You're like going to the Caribbean, you're going sideways. You're just flying, 400 miles an hour, and it's still going up. So you're cool in that zone, but it has to be on certain instances, because most of the time this will be a short. But the algo alert picks us up on 821, 59.29. Right here. If you take this away, you're right here in this spot, and you're very far up there. People are like, I'm not buying there, but look what happened. 60, you get a 62. You're up near 70, and this finally was the buy. Right here, that candle is pretty big, and then look what happened. You came down and you just looped right back up with this candle. So another buy within here. But this was the big move here, 60 to 70, and you're talking a nice $10 move, and what's that, about 2 weeks, 3 weeks? That's what you want in these swings. You want a week, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You keep adding up these swings. All right, weekly chart on this. You can see the big move down here on gold miners. The low was January. Look at the dip here, and the low was in March 2024. So this is the big move. You're playing the weekly. You're going up. Yeah, some little dips here, but this is staying elevated and long. Look at all the green candles now you have. This is incredible. Monthly chart. You actually had the lowest point in 2022 on the miners, and you would say here 379 stochastics. Look at this low. We went up. The low, you went up, low, we went up. So points 1, 2, and then 3, and then look where we're at now. So this is a longer term move that was going to happen. Go back to 2011. Here's your outer line, your highest line. Look at your lower line back in 2016. Symmetrical triangle here. Look at the high, the low, excuse me, and then you're starting to come up here at the end of this move, and then you start to break out. Look at this 35, and once you get to 40, and you are taking off. So look at this 2022, 24, 25, and that's where we're at 94.89 on stochastics. Quarterly chart, you're at a 95.86. Look how high this is. Now this chart goes back to like 2006, 11. This was as high as 94 in 2011, and then this went all the way down. So this is one of the highest points ever. At this point, actually, it is the highest point now. Now, where is this going? Who knows right now? You're in uncharted territory. It keeps going up higher and higher. And you're going to have to watch this. See the yearly. Yearly just had a big breakout, too. I mean, this could go much higher at this point. Could this go over 100? Yeah, of course you could say that. Who knows? You just don't know at this point. But all the dips are being bought. So that's where we are on the chart here. Now, you look at the algo. There was the algo. Here's the algo too back here. I don't have them back here. I didn't do it on them, but you can play these points. These are daily chart algos. Now you can look at the weekly, the monthly, however you play it, whatever you play. You play the hourly. There's so many ways to play swing trading, and you want to catch these little moves. That's all it is, and then wait for the next move. Like right here, came out of the wedge. All right, we're going sideways. What's it doing? Okay, we broke out. Algo picked it up. See if it makes sense to you. You look at the chart. And you're playing the breakout 60, and look where we went. Now we're up again. So this is what's possible. Easily $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 trades on swings. That can be big, whatever you're playing with. And we'll see what happens on gold miners and silver miners, gold and silver. This week we'll see how it looks. All right, that's it. Please subscribe to Mike Cayman Trades on YouTube. Smash the like button. Check out all my other social media: Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, you name it.